The following is a Journey into Comics Network production.
Good luck.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Game Addicts Podcast, the show where we talk about the modern and retro video games that we play and collect. I'm your host, Brando. Joining me here today, as always / usual, Mike. Player 2, Mike.
Yeah.
And I say that because, of course, schedule's about to pick up. We're gonna take advantage of when you're available, when we can, to have you on. But if we need to finagle something and someone else is sitting in this chair, that's what we're gonna have to do.
I do have a positive note on that.
What's that?
In January, halfway through shutdown, I will be on days.
Mm-hmm.
In the first week of January, I'll be on days.
Oh, cool. So
during
that
our
works.
exclusive.
That works for feature week, because then we'll be able to pre-record the episode that's going to go up before feature week, which will already be up by when we get featured, and then you'll be on days. So then we can meet up on the week out and do a more up-to-date regular episode like we're doing today. Of course, we do a lot of times when we can, we do pre-record the retrospectives that focus on stuff because it doesn't really need to be up to date.
Right.
So we do take advantage of that when we can to kind of free up some time because, podcasting is awesome and I have a lot of fun doing it. It's really cool to knock out 2 in a row because then it's like, hey, that's less that we have to like make a special trip or do anything like that for. So that's kind of what we're going to do today. We're doing 2 today. This one is live, and of course you're watching this.
Kind of live.
Well, yeah, I mean, sort of live. Hey, that's like
sort of live.
It's an old show that I used to do with our good buddy Silent Rob. But
who might be here
today?
He might be.
Oh, well, Silent Rob is always lurking somewhere.
Yes.
Man, that's an old joke that kind of like died off after a while, especially when the extra shows like started coming in.
Yeah.
And if we all like for the Journey to Comics Network, I do miss Rob though. I like doing podcasts with Rob, and I want to get back on topic with him one day. Of course, won't be anytime soon.
No.
Of course, they welcomed a new bundle of joy into their world about a month ago.
Yeah.
She's about a month old now, so congrats, guys. Really happy for you guys, and man, she's just so cute.
She is. She's definitely
cute
a cute little baby. But
today, of course, we have PSX going on. And a lot of the stuff is going on as we record this today. Of course, this is Saturday. By the time you guys are hearing it, it's Thursday. Unless you subscribe and pledge at least $1 to the Journey to Comics Network Patreon, where you get this episode pretty much tonight. When I get home, I'm putting the audio up immediately. If I had the capability of editing the video that quick, that could go up too. Which, depending on what we're doing, I might try to do that. But I'm not going to push myself. No promises. I cannot promise that.
Right.
Because it does take a while to render a video that's an hour and a half to however long we go. It takes a while. And then uploading and all that kind of stuff and making the thumbnails and doing all this stuff. It's not that I hate doing it, but it just takes time to do.
Right.
And
it definitely does.
When we only have one PC and you have someone like maybe my wife who lives her life on that damn thing. Not a negative thing, because that's where a lot of her friends are. But at night, she doesn't get on the computer during the day. She gets on the computer at night.
Of course, that's when you want to do
it. That's when I need to do it. So then I'm kind of bumping her off, and she's usually really cool about it. But then I have to render the video while I'm sleeping because she wants to use the computer. And when I'm rendering, you can't use it. When the video is importing to the software, she can get on there and do stuff. But when it's rendering, the more you do, the slower it takes. And if you switch profiles, it freezes.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know if it completely freezes the program, but it freezes the export, and that has like happened. So with that being said, we're going to be talking about like some of the Game Awards stuff. I completely forgot about the Game Awards being on until they were already on.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even bother tuning into the live stream. I do have the results that we of course, a few weeks ago, we went over all the categories. We'll see who won and who lost. And you don't know any of them, do you?
I have not looked, no.
All right, so that's going to be kind of cool.
I'm hoping that some of mine.
Yeah, we'll be going over that. Of course, they had a few reveal trailers. I watched a few of those, and I didn't watch everything because most notably, like, not everything appeals to me. So I'm going to be talking about the stuff that I did watch. And, of course, I watched a little bit of the PSX opening ceremony thing from last night on Friday night.
Right.
that they had going pretty late at night. I was laying in bed. It was like midnight, and they were still going. But think about it. They're in California. Right. So it's like, like a 3 or 4 hour.
It'd be
9
there.
So like they were probably going to be closing up around 10 or 11 or something. But it went a long time, and they had a lot of stuff revealed there. We'll talk about that. If we miss anything, please bear with us. I don't have anything written down. I'm just going right off the cuff. But I do have some pickups. Of course, last week I picked up my Switch, my Super Mario Odyssey red Switch. I love it. It's really snazzy. I really love the red on my. What's really cool, it recognizes the color of the Joy-Cons.
Huh?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Like when it's like when you're in the menus and stuff and you're like plugging stuff in, it doesn't just show two. It says one red, and I've seen video where it says one blue, and then like the neon.
Yeah.
It's like this is the future.
This is
It knows. But of course, I have the digital version of Mario Odyssey, which I want to get physical, but I'm not paying $60 for it after I already have it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait a long time to pick up that game.
Yes.
On physical copy. I'm going to get that as dirt cheap as I can ever possibly get that game. And then, of course, I picked up Skyrim, which was the surprise last week.
Yeah.
I picked up Skyrim. And
which my wife sat downstairs and played.
Yeah, while we recorded the little Journey to Comics segment, which was almost about, I think it was about a half hour. And then she fiddled around with that. I got to play a little bit of it, but not much last week because I didn't have a lot of time to play anything last week.
Yeah.
But I picked up L.A. Noire. This is the remaster of the last gen 360 PS3 game, released by Rockstar. It was Team Bendy. I can't remember who in the heck developed this. I don't think the team even exists anymore. I want to say they were like a Australian developing company. And this game is notable because this game was in development for a long time. It has notable actors in it. You will see people you recognize if you watch a lot of TV. People who are in like nobody characters and like Law and Order and stuff like that. Like reoccurring small characters. You're like, oh, that guy. Yeah. I recognize him because this game doesn't just scan their face. They set up like a bunch of cameras at different points, and they sat around it and they acted out the scenes. And then they took all that footage from all those angles, and then like kind of did what they did. If you guys ever watched the movie A Scanner Darkly with Keanu Reeves, they filmed it and then they animated over it.
Right.
So when you play this game, it captures all their little facial stuff because it's not dots. It's actually the footage of their face that they've mapped into the game.
Which is awesome.
It is awesome. And it's kind of creepy when you first start, but then you kind of like get used to it.
Well, I mean, for the premise of the game, for you to check if they're lying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It works.
And, of course, the main character, Cole Phelps, he's played by, I can't remember the actor's name, but he was in Mad Men. He was like a side character in Mad Men. And then I remember that one of the guys I was like, I was interrogating. I'm like, who is this guy? I know him. Who is this guy? I'm like getting mad. I looked him up. He played Tim Allen's brother in Home Improvement.
Oh, what?
Back in the 90s. And I'm like, no way. It's just like, I just recognized the face after all those years and couldn't place it. But this game is really cool because I love the whole, I almost want to say, old detective style of, the whole like narration type thing. It doesn't have a whole lot of narration in this, but it has like those weird little like the same music style with the horns.
Right, yeah.
And like the saxophone and whatnot. And I almost said Dick Tracy. But
it'd be close.
No, none of the wacky villains or anything like that. But I love you just go through the motions of trying to solve crimes and, be a cop. And, as you said, interrogate people, but looking at the crime scene, looking at clues. And you can actually, the game has music. If the music is playing at the scene, there's still clues to be found. You can turn all that off.
I don't think I would.
But
at least you'd know that there's clues.
Right. Well, because there's a slight little like background music, and then when you find everything, it goes no, and then okay, I found everything here.
Right.
And usually it kind of with what he says or what his partner says, it kind of clues you in that you're done.
Right.
But it still does that anyway. And then when you start getting close to a clue or something that you can interact with, it'll go ding, or that'd be like the small little ding, or like the Joy Cons or your controller will start vibrating, and you can turn all that stuff off too, which is like ridiculous. But I mean, it is a bit of a slow paced game in that aspect because you actually have to go search around and look around and find clues, piece stuff together, because you either talk to them and you either like believe what they're saying is true, doubt them, or accuse. You cannot accuse unless you have something to back it up. If you accuse them before you do that, it can actually ruin the conversation. Actually, like, because, like, say you're trying to piece this, because it'll tell you after you're done, out of how many, 4 or 5 or 6, out of that you got right out of the conversation. And it'll actually tell you, like, when you're like sitting there and you're trying to gauge whether or not their statement is true or false. It'll tell you right there, correct or incorrect. And of course, I've actually played one where, most of the game I was doing great, and in this one case, I just flubbed it entirely. I'm like, what in the world? Like, everything. I'm like, come on, he was lying. And it was like, no, he's just kind of a shady dude. But this game for the Switch, there is a big update for it, guys. It's about 13 gigabyte update. Be prepared for that. You cannot play the game until you download it onto your Switch or to a memory card. It took me about, on my internet, my Switch gets about 20 megs per download. There's a lot of stuff on my Wi-Fi at home. If I went through and turned everything off, I might be able to get more.
Right.
But for what it is, I don't use it online a lot. And so it took about an hour, almost 2 hours, about an hour and 50 minutes is when it locked in. And there's nothing in it other than, Eleanor's in the system. I got Skyrim right there. Just tossed it in there. But yeah, nothing nowadays seems to come with a manual or a map or anything like that. It's all right there. But
only a handful of games do that anymore.
Out of all the games that I got today, this is the only one that I actually sat down and played today. And last night, I put the games in and I got their updates so I could start playing them whenever I want. But I wanted to see how this looked because I was curious. Because I heard some stuff about the remaster of this. I did not know this game was tailor-made for the PS3. Typically, in the last generation, it was the opposite.
Right.
Games were easier to develop for the 360, using the whole DirectX 10 type thing, and more of a PC-friendly type, a way to port back and forth. You can make it on the PC, port it to the 360, working fine, and then you look at the PS3 and go, how are we going to make this work?
Yeah.
Because the PS3 had the cell processor. They utilized the cell processor when they were developing L.A. Noire. So when you have the last gen copy, the PS3 is the superior copy to have. And that is very uncommon for a third-party game. Typically, when you're talking about the PS3 and people are like, only the exclusives show the power. And it's like, yes, but here's a rare example of a third-party one that actually kind of goes above and beyond. And, of course, the 360 copy of this game is 3 discs. It's a big game. It's a big game. What else do I have to say? Oh, I saw a video comparing the PS3 to the Switch. And then, of course, to the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. And this game runs mostly superior to the PS3. And as far as one thing, and that's like total frames. Like when you're running and there's stuff going on, the frames do kind of slow down a little bit.
On dock mode or handheld?
I kind of want to say it was both. It didn't drop to the point where it's unplayable. But when you put both side by side and he's running, you can tell the slowdown because dude over here was ahead than this dude over here. Like the whole game kind of slowed down a little bit, but it's not unplayable. It's not too noticeable unless you're like look at them side by side. If you're sucked in the game chasing after a dude, you're focusing on that and not too much because it's not like to where you're like, wow, I can't even move.
Right.
No, the game is running. And the other thing is draw distance. In the handheld mode, the draw distance is less, of course.
Right.
But it's to the point where you're like you don't even really notice it too much because it's a smaller screen, and you're looking at it. I was playing it just earlier, and it looks fantastic. To think that these games are now in your hand,
yes,
playable, not the new WWE game apparently.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. And that's why I wanted to get this. This has all the DLC from the last generation on it. So you don't have to worry about that. Same if you get it on the PS3 and Xbox.
Right.
PS4 and Xbox One.
I got
it. All these numbers, dude. I'm just getting all over myself. But this was $50, and the PS4 Xbox One version is $40. They put a little bit more effort into this one because you have motion controls and you have touch controls.
Right.
So that they added just a little bit of extra oomph into this, which is the extra $10. That's okay with me. I wanted it for the Switch. I could easily got this for the PS4, but
mobility.
It's that mobility, and it's the fact that it looks just fine on the TV. I'm not a graphics whore or anything like that. I play retro games. I mean, come on. I mean, as long as the game is playable and it's fine, I'm cool.
Right.
I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, this game could look so much better. Because obviously I know it could.
Yeah.
I'm just going to enjoy the experience that it gives me. And I've heard that the superior version to have is definitely the Xbox One X version that runs at a full, frame 4K. And
right.
With no slowdown. And PS4 Pro has a little bit of the resolution isn't quite there. So it does look a little jagged because it like up-reses it. It takes a 1080p signal and up-reses it to that, where the Xbox One X actually just pops it up. But awesome. If you're looking for something else for your Switch, check out LA Noire because Rockstar put it out, and if we buy Rockstar products on the Switch, we may get more. I'm not saying they will. It makes sense. They're dipping their toe into that water, going, "How's this doing over here? And how do people care about our games?" We were going to release this anyway for the other two systems. Put it over there, see how it does. And if it does badly, all right, whatever. But if it does really good, and you're like,
Are we going to put?
Maybe we should put a little bit more effort into the Switch and
maybe a GTA 5 port.
See, and I talked about that with a friend at work, and it's completely playable on a PS3 with 150 something megabyte RAM. That's not to say that the Switch, even though it's more higher advanced tech, could run. It's not a factor of could it run it smoothly enough.
Right.
And I guess that's something they would have to sit down and go, what can we trim from this? Is it draw distance? Is it this? Is it, it wouldn't be, of course, on par with your PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game, but you're getting the mobility of it.
Yep.
Would be the uptick on that. Up next, Breath of the Wild. I don't really have much to say.
It's Breath of the Wild.
It's Breath of the Wild. We've talked about this game to death this year. Of course, originally played this on the Wii U. Never beat it. I got distracted by Andromeda. Want to go back to it, and I always said, man, I might just wait till I get the Switch version to just really dive back into it and start over. And because I wasn't that far. I beat one Divine Beast and it was on my way to the second. So,
right.
I mean, I kept getting distracted doing those damn temples. So,
yeah, that's kind of one of the points of it.
But awesome big world game, and of course, as we record this, just this past Thursday, of course, a week ago now. If you're watching this on release day, they just released the last DLC for it.
The Ballad of the Champions.
Yeah, so there's a $20 season pass for that. I heard that FF15 is getting a second season pass. Yep. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Just, I don't know.
Yep. So, again, nothing inside except for that small little cart. Tiny little cart for big case. I like these cases better than like the 3DS cases.
Yes.
It kind of reminds me of the PSP cases.
Yep.
A little thinner though. Last but not least, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So I love Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Played it on the Wii. Played X a little bit. I didn't really dive into it as much as I wanted to. It didn't really interest me because when I played the first one on the Wii, I was like, "Boo, this game is freaking awesome!" And then I get to X, I'm like, "This is not the same anything."
Yeah.
So it's not that I don't ever want to play it. It was just like, man, even that's what I get for going into a game a little blind.
I need to play it.
Same.
Finish it.
Not much in here. There's a season pass for this too. And this Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is the sequel. It's its own story. You don't need to play the first one.
Right.
It's kind of like your Tales games or your Final Fantasy, where the next one is a different story and world. but it's got the same sort of style and look and feel of the original Xenoblade Chronicles and not the X. So,
yeah, I'm interested to see it. Played a little bit. Looks like kind of the same fighting style as X, kind of. Excluding the mechs.
It's more akin to the original. And
right.
The second one was a little different, or the X was a bit different. But yeah, I've got 2 more games coming in the mail. And I might just save those for the next episode. That way I can show it to you. But so those are my pickups. You didn't have any?
Nope, not this week.
So from there, I guess we just go right into the Game Awards.
Yes. I'm anxious to see how many slots Breath took.
So we're going to go, and we're going to start all at the bottom. We're going to work our way up. Best Chinese game. Okay.
Which we had no idea of any of these.
No, the winner was JX3 HD. Congratulations to you guys. And then the best debut indie game presented by Chick Hydro was Cuphead.
Yeah. Kind of figured that was happening.
Yeah, Cuphead was very popular. Best esports team, Cloud9.
Yeah.
Not my. Again, I don't know any of this. Best esports player presented by Omen by HP was Faker, Lee Sang. I can't say that. Sorry, guys. But he's a League of Legends player. Best esports game. What do you think it is?
Esports game?
Yeah, best esports game. What do you think it is?
I don't know.
Big multiplayer game. Everyone's crazy about it. Come on.
Rocket League?
No. Overwatch.
Oh. Yeah. Not a fan.
Again, it's not really my cup of tea either. So, not that I dislike it. I'm not really big into multiplayer games.
I am, but I'm kind of leaning away from it.
Trending gamer of the year was Guy Beam, Mr. Disrespect. It's that dude.
Cool. Don't know who you are.
Me either. Best student game was won by Level Squared. Of course, this is I heard something about this. He was like an older dude who then went to school to learn how to make games. So they're making some games.
Cool.
Best independent game.
Best independent game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who was in the category.
Winner was Cuphead.
Huh. That'll do it.
Most anticipated game presented by McCafe.
Most anticipated?
Yeah.
Of 2018?
Most anticipated game in general. Just like what has been stuff that has been released on it. And, of course, we have Red Dead Redemption 2, Monster Hunter World, Spider-Man, God of War, and the winner was The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, I could see that.
Best multiplayer, who won?
Probably whatever we just mentioned a little bit ago.
Overwatch? No. Pub. Player Knows Battleground won that one.
Oh, yeah.
And that got a release date for the for going into early access or whatever onto the Xbox and PC, or it's like PUBG 1.0 or something like that.
Yeah,
I saw the thing for it, and I want to say it's like early next year or something. Best esports / racing game.
Forza
Motorsport 7. Best strategy game was won by Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Huh.
Best family game was won by Super Mario Odyssey.
That's 2 so far. I'm keeping track.
Best fighting game was Injustice 2.
Eh.
Best role-playing game, Persona 5. And there was Fracture Butthole, FF15, Divinity, Original Sin 2, and Nier Automata.
I'm very surprised that FF15's even in that category.
Well, it was because it got released right before the awards last year. So they included it. Best action / adventure game was won by
Breath
of the Wild.
Yeah.
Best action game was won by Wolfenstein 2.
I can see that.
Best VR / AR game was won by Resident Evil 7,
Yep.
Biohazard. Best handheld game was won by Metroid: Samus Returns.
Yeah.
Best mobile game is Monument Valley 2. Best ongoing game Overwatch.
Overwatch, yeah.
Games for Impact. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Best Performance. Melina Juergens, Hellblade as Suenya.
Yeah, okay.
I've never played the game, I'm sorry, but so if I botched those. Best Audio Design was the same game, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Huh.
Best Score / Music was won by Nier Automata. And I've heard the game has really good music. That is a game, it's like a action / RPG game made by Platinum Games and Square.
Huh.
I've heard the game is really freaking smooth.
Might be something to check out.
Yeah, it got released in the past spring, and it kind of came out at a time when I was playing either Andromeda or Persona 5. Best Art Direction, Cuphead.
Cuphead, yeah.
Best Narrative, What Remains of Edith Finch. Best Game Direction, Breath of the Wild.
Breath, yeah.
Game of the Year.
Ooh, here's the one. It's between two, in my opinion.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
So
To me, it was Breath or Horizon.
Right. So yeah, Horizon won nothing.
I'm very surprised with that.
And Mario Odyssey got a few nominations. It only won the best family game. But I want to say it was Breath, Horizon, Mario, PUBG. That's Player Unknown's Battleground.
Yeah, I know it is.
I'm seeing who else. Yep. Oh, and then Persona 5.
Persona 5.
For the Game of the Year. But yeah, most of these some of them I know nothing, and I guess I'm not that much of a gamer.
I'm just gonna put it out here. 5 games for the Switch, 1 for the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo took 6 spots of.
And I think Nier Automata is a PS4 exclusive. Cuphead is Xbox, and the rest were I think either PC or multi-plat.
Right.
Well, no, Persona 5. That's PlayStation.
PlayStation 4.
Did we mention last week that Persona 5 has sold 2 million copies? I think we did.
I think you did. Yeah.
Oh, and something else that got announced. A new Tomb Raider is being made.
That's good.
3rd Tomb Raider. So they pretty much released a weird blank statement. They're like, we're doing something different this time. He goes, instead of coming out with a big reveal, with a big thing, or to tease you, we're just going to let you know, yes, there's a new Tomb Raider being made. Yes, it's been in development for a little while. Just know there will be a short window between when we show it to you and when you can hold it.
I kind of like that because now it's, hey, it's coming. We just want you to know.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to be like, it's going to be like the other ones. What if it's exactly like the other ones, but 10 times better?
We'll see. And, of course, I don't think this one's going to be exclusive.
I think it'll be multi-plat.
I think it's definitely going to be multi-plat. Xbox got the exclusive for Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then now it's available onto the PS4 with the Ultimate Edition, all the DLCs and all that stuff involved. I really liked Rise of the Tomb Raider. Really good game.
You had to play it.
I had the same reaction as I did when I had played the reboot. I was like, awesome.
Yeah,
not the best game you'll ever play, but freaking awesome. As like, this is a freaking Tomb Raider game, and it's what it should be.
See, I think it's moving in the correct direction now, and I think the 3rd installment. I'm wondering if they're going to go full open world. Now, before it was open world, but you had to
Segments.
you had to do each segment. I think it'd be cool if they just drop you in and say, "There's 13 tombs, find them."
Well, maybe because each game has gotten bigger. You had the first one, which you seemed like it was like you had your levels; they were pretty big,
right?
And then in the second one, you had these big open areas for you to explore. And you had several of those,
right?
Like, and then you also had like the same thing as the first one, where you had tighter quarters, know, shorter parts of the level that were in between, and then you got to another big area that you had to explore. But really enjoyed it. What else did they announce? Oh, for the Switch, we already said the Zelda last DLC.
Yep.
Then Reggie announced Bayonetta 1 and 2 getting ported to the Switch,
and
Bayonetta 3. Being developed exclusively for the Switch. So they are developed and like really wanting to make something that's like only available on the Switch. Of course, That's what we have with Xenoblade. They now have a couple of different RPGs that they can offer from Nintendo. Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, and Pokemon. And, you have a couple different styles of RPGs that they can offer you.
Right.
And that I'm really excited to see what they do with a full Switch Pokemon game.
Everybody is.
And dude, everyone's like, when that gets released and announced, people are going to be like eyeing that because.
Well, they'll come out with a Pokemon exclusive Switch, probably a Pikachu edition.
Of course.
And then I think at that time there'll be a Switch boom. You won't find them, and people will start reselling them again for $400, $500.
Oh yeah. There's definitely. I mean, thankfully though, by the time they even get to that point, there should be a good number of Switches out there already. But then I do agree with you. I think there's going to be even more. I think there's going to be even more people that go out and get them.
I think it'll be like Breath, where, what was it, like 1 in every 4 Switches?
It was, yeah. The attach rate for Breath was crazy.
Yeah, so I think you're going to see basically the same attachment, probably more, because Pokemon has been around forever.
It has, and it kind of went quiet. Not quiet. Quiet's the wrong term. But it wasn't quite on fire as it was in the late 90s. There for like a good stretch. And then just like when they did Pokemon Go, it lit a fire.
My question is, because it had the original Pokemon.
And now they have all of...
they have all the...
Well, most of Generation 2, and they just started adding Generation 3, and they've added a weather system, and they're doing all sorts of new stuff.
Right.
And it's not that I really care anymore, but it's like they're still putting stuff into that. But people are going to remember, okay, like 2 years ago, I went crazy with Pokemon Go. Then all of a sudden switch, and they see that new trailer for the new Pokemon game, like, whoa.
Do you think, this is a question, do you think that they might do kind of the sort of thing with the Switch, where like if I go to your house, I might be able to battle different Pokemon. You come to my house, you get different Pokemon.
That would be interesting. Where it would utilize location. Well,
net router. Basically, it'd be on a router.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have any.
Maybe it wouldn't be completely that due to the fact that you'd have to have like internet connection for that.
Right.
However, you can also internet connection and use your phone as a wireless hotspot.
Yeah. It's a possibility. I don't think they will, but it's gonna be interesting to see what they do because this is the first console Pokemon game.
No. Something I thought of, and people were thinking and complaining about, in order to connect to chat onto the Switch, you have to have the app.
Right.
And you get a headset, and it plugs into the Switch, it plugs into your phone, and then you're playing. People are like, man, that's so stupid. And yes, I kind of wish it wasn't built that way. But think about it. If you're on the go, and you're playing games on the go,
it makes sense.
You have this as a wireless hotspot. You're getting Wi-Fi from to your Switch from your phone. Then you're plugged in, and then they tethered this device, your phone, into the Switch and made it to where not everything is on the Switch. And that way they didn't have to make a cell phone version of the Switch where you had to buy a data plan or anything like that. Like,
right.
No, everybody has cell phones. Let's utilize that.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, also it gives you the concept of if you're on the go with that small screen and having a chat window, you don't have much room. I mean, you're taking up quarter of the screen.
Right. I mean,
there.
I don't probably plan on using that at all, but that's just me.
I want to use it just once to see how it
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, what else was announced? A new Metro trailer. Oh, Death Stranding. We got to talk about Death Stranding. You haven't seen the trailer yet because you've been working. I watched this trailer. It was a 7-minute trailer. Norman Reedus speaks in this trailer. He actually has a line. He says it.
A line?
It's like a 2 sentences type thing or something like that. He says it at the beginning and he says it at the end. Watch this 7-minute trailer. Guess what this game is about?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know what the fuck this game is about.
Invisible beings.
I don't know. You're watching it and you're just like, okay, what exactly is going on here?
I saw a little clip where it was like Norman Reedus standing there, but there's like this little flower thing coming up of his back.
It's like this weird little machine thing.
Yeah,
Kojima walked out at PSX with one of those on.
What?
I don't know what this game is. I don't know if Kojima knows. But apparently, Mads Mikkelsen, who he appeared on the last trailer, in the game. He said something like, "For those of you who think that I'm just a villain, yeah, I think you're going to be surprised. Don't judge too much about what you think my character is in this game." And I'm like, "Wait, you know what this game is about?"
Tell us, please.
I don't know. I literally, I think I've watched a video where some dude was like, his wife was like, "It just looks like a bad dream. Like everything that you could ever like stuff that you see just doesn't make sense." And it's freaky enough where you just kind of like get a little scared. And it's like, yeah, because I remember like this dude was like, he had like this little sack on him, or like this little like a military
A satchel?
a satchel or whatever. And then he's getting ready to get picked up, and he throws it down. And he's getting picked up, and he's trying to kill himself before whatever this invisible thing can kill him. And like he can't reach his gun because he dropped it. So then he gets his knife and he starts stabbing himself to death.
Wow.
And then Reedus grabs like the satchel or whatever that has this baby in it, and then he ends up underwater. And everything's like floating underwater.
Like immediately as he picked it up?
It's like, I don't know if it's in his head or whatever it is, but he's underwater. And then it like the camera zooms at his face and it goes down his throat, and a baby's in his throat.
It's crazy.
And then he wakes up and he's not underwater anymore. He's holding the satchel, whatever. I'm like, what is this? What the fuck is this game? I mean, don't get me wrong. There's several things about it look cool. And he's doing a really good job of showing us a lot of crap of it without us knowing anything.
Well, that's just kind of his MO, isn't it?
Yes.
He likes to dangle things in front of you like, you know what it is? No, you don't.
He kind of said this was going to be a kind of an open world action game. He was going to kind of take a step away from the Metal Gear type S game, and where it's going to be kind of a different thing. But I don't know what this game is about.
We'll find out.
Like, dude, like you need to watch this trailer, and you're gonna sit there like this.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. And it's gonna be over. It's like Death Stranding. And you're like, 3 trailers, still don't know what this fucking game's about. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, it's cool. I'm actually looking forward to it because it's not often that you see a game in development for a year and a half to 2 years, and it's a Kojima game, and he's a legend in the gaming industry. He made one of the biggest and longest selling and highest selling video game franchises in history. Okay? And so when he makes something, it's usually of note. It's like, oh, okay, so Kojima's a new game that isn't a Metal Gear. Isn't something that he's already done. He's doing something brand new. So all eyes are like, all right, so what's this about? I don't know.
It's about stuff.
And things. So we saw, I was watching some of the keynote, and they showed a little bit of that game Dreams by Media Molecule. They made Little Big Planet, and they were kind of going, finally, like we have like a release window. It's next year in 2018, so big game from Sony coming out. I don't know how much it's going to catch on, because it's kind of like that Little Big Planet where you get to play like these levels, and they're all like these dreams, and each level is kind of like really different.
Right.
But everything that you see in the game, you could make that level with stuff that's in the game.
Huh.
And like you would make it with, and like I think I might not be required to make it, but I remember when they were first showing it, they were using like the PS4 or PS3 wand to that little move controller. So I don't know. Medieval is getting a remaster for the PS4.
Yes.
Of course, last year they announced Wipeout, which came out, and there's a VR version of Wipeout coming out, and which is, I guess, a free update if you already own the game. You just get a VR version of that, and they're coming out with a VR thing experience. It's like a 15, 20-minute gameplay experience for the Last Guardian, where you're like the kid, and there's that big feathered dog thing. But
somebody's back there going, "It's a... How dare you call him a dog?"
Dude, I tell you what, there's somebody rattling in the streets. I never played the game personally. I didn't get it. I was not really that excited about it. It was cool that it came out since it was in development for so long.
Right.
But, I mean, I have no emotional attachment towards it. They talk about, of course, I think in February, the new the HD or complete remake of Shadow of Colossus is coming out.
Yes.
So there's that. And I'm missing some stuff, but again, it was like there's some stuff of note. We might find out some things today. They have the 10-year anniversary of Uncharted panel where they have all the voice actors. They're also going to have later on the Last of Us Part 2 panel with voice actors. And we may let some stuff slip. You know, sometimes they give you a little bit of trinkle. But okay, so there's been there's actually been like a theory about when this game's coming out, and I actually kind of agree with it because you're looking at the video game cycle right now, and there are people who are saying that we're definitely entering the last phase of this console cycle. They don't think it's going to be nearly as long as the last one because of the recession, and now that the market and the economy is healthy, typically a gaming generation it lasts between 5 and 8 years. Right.
Unless you're Nintendo and it's 4 years, no matter what.
Yeah, well,
except for the handhelds.
With the Wii, it came out in 2006, and the Wii U came out in
11?
12.
Was it 12?
So it was 6 years for that.
Yeah.
And then the PS3 came out in 2006. Xbox 360 came out in 2005, and they both launched in 2013.
Right.
So that was their time cycle. So think about that. 2013 is when those two systems came out, and we are getting ready to enter 2018.
It's about that time.
And so we have 5 years. It'll be that, and they're thinking that the classic length for, a PlayStation console life cycle has been 6 years. And so if the PS4 is going to be 6 years, that means in 2019 or 2020, we're going to be seeing the next PlayStation console. And that there are people who are thinking that The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be what The Last of Us was for the PS3.
Swan song.
Swan song.
I can see that.
And, yeah, I definitely see that too, especially since, we already have, we have the PS4 Pro, which is kind of like the mid-stop. But the Xbox One X is almost like a whole new next-gen console with how powerful it is.
It basically is.
But the thing is that there's no, they don't have the exclusives. Like right now, if they had all the badass exclusives, they would be in the position that Sony was in with the PS3, where the PS3 came in and it was powerful, but it was expensive. People didn't know how to use it because it took time to figure out the sell. Eventually they did. People started buying more, so they put more oomph into their games to put over there, so there's more parity between the two.
Right.
But then the exclusives is what brought you in. Your Uncharted, your Last of Us, and stuff like that. Even like your Little Big Planets and whatnot brought people in to play these games, and it brought it back up to where even though 360 technically has the win by maybe 1 million units there at the end, because the PS3 sales kind of died off right around the time of the PS3, and but I think Xbox pulled ahead, but it was almost a neck and neck.
Yeah.
Sony brought it up.
Hi, dog meat.
What's up, doggy? You weren't on the last episode. Come here.
Hey, Patty.
Come here, Pad.
Hey, Patty.
What?
Come here. Nope. He just wants to stare at us, ominously.
I love how dogs do that little
head tilt. If you go you, he does it.
You. What? Oh, here he is.
There he is.
Come here. Oh, you rascal.
Come on, buddy.
But yeah, God of War doesn't have a date yet. I'm thinking March. I'm thinking they're being wary about it because they're afraid of a delay.
Right.
Obviously, PSX would have been the time to release a release. That'd be like a big announcement.
Right.
So they weren't saying it. They weren't saying it for a reason, because they're afraid. They're afraid that there might be something. They don't want to say this and then delay it. Far Cry 5 got delayed by a month. That's going into March. Speaking of Ubisoft, something got rated. Like RATED, not rated like Tomb Raider.
That's what I was like, huh? Yeah. What got rated?
I'm not going on YouTube. I accidentally hit the YouTube button.
Well, go to YouTube.
All right, so we're going to go to IGN. I have a couple of
segments.
Assassin's Creed Rogue HD, rated for PS4 and Xbox One. It's funny because I just started playing this on the PS3.
You better stop now.
Oh. And of course, that came in. It got. It said that the Assassin's Creed Rogue HD was submitted to the board by Ubisoft and classified to like today. That was December 6th. And they said several Italian retailers previously outed the potential remaster, listing Assassin's Creed Rogue HD as a March 15th, 2018 release date.
Huh. That'd be interesting.
And so, I mean...
and honestly, though, that putting it on the next on this generation of consoles makes sense because it came out on last gen, and most people were kind of in the transition of the PS4.
Right.
So now you're getting the game into more hands. I mean, there's 70 million.
Yep, so there's 70 million PS4s now.
So you're looking at 70 million people now that are going to be like, I like Assassin's Creed. I heard that was the better one. I'm going to go ahead and pick that up.
And then, of course, you can put it at a $40 price point.
Right.
And have it be like, oh, I could do that. Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Dude, I just played the new one. It's pretty cool. Let's go back to this one.
And then they play and they're like, oh, this was cool too because it's
Black Flag.
It's Black Flag, essentially.
Well, it's funny because Black Flag got released on both. It got released on last gen and newer gen.
Right.
Because that was my launch title because of Watch Dogs cancellation. And then on the next year they did Unity was only PS4, Xbox One. And then Rogue was only PS3, 360.
Right.
Really weird way to do it.
Yes.
But, Rogue was is basically using the same engine as Black Flag. And then Unity was like this new engine tailor-made for the newer consoles, and it was a piece of garbage.
Yes, it was.
That game was just broken as all get out. I'm pretty excited for that, even though it's like there's no need for me to buy it because the game looks fine. It's going to look prettier, and that's going to be the only thing about it. And the game looks completely fine on my TV. I remember when I went over to Rob's house and he was playing Black Flag. We were both playing it, and he didn't have a PS4 yet.
Right.
I was playing on the PS4, and I'm like looking at the water, going, "Oh, this looks awesome." And I go over to his house. He's playing on the PS3, and I'm like,
That's kind of what I thought because that Black Flag was one of my original pickups.
Yeah, because you did the Target deal
Yes, it did.
with you got Need for Speed, Assassin's Creed, and NBA.
No, Ghost.
You got Ghost. I always forget about Ghost.
And Black Flag, the only thing I did on Black Flag was ship battles. And like my roommate at the time, he would play the main story. And as he played the main story and unlocked more parts of the ship, then I would go and unlock all the ships. And he was like, "I can't beat this ship. Will you beat it?" Or the, what were they?
You had the
forts.
four.
The forts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you had the forts, but you also had like the 4 legendary ships.
And one of them was 2.
Yes, that one was hard.
Sucked.
That one was pretty hard. I do remember that one.
You had to basically just, you're my target, and you had to get your 2 passes in on it. And if you didn't put it down, you're screwed.
Yeah, I remember because you kind of had to like focus on one while keeping away from the other one.
Yep. You had to lure one away just far enough, and then you would do your sweep.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you did your sweep, you would hit between both of them, and you'd have to dot. It was hard.
That actually wasn't the hardest one for me.
Mine was the one in the mist.
I can't remember. I want to say mine was the top left hand because the top right corner was the twins, or was the 2. I want to say the top left one is the one that beat me up the most.
That's the one in the mist where you can only hit it in the back.
Oh, okay.
You can only do damage to the rear of the ship, so you had to circle around it. It was like 10 times bigger than any of the other ships. It's like a Man of War times 3.
Yeah.
And it only received damage from the rear of the ship. So when you circled around it, you had to... Oh, it's terrible.
So I got a comment today.
You got a comment today? On what?
Well, I posted the picture of the Mother games that I picked up.
Yes.
Mother 1 and 2 and Mother 3. Those are the repro games that I got locally. And pretty much what I said, I put this on my personal Instagram. I said, found these in a local store. Pretty neat, as I've always wanted to pick them up. And got to do so cheaper than online. Because online, they're about $20. And this dude, who is, his IG is dog slobbering. How TF did you find these at a local store? Where are you? So I'm like, I found them at my local Discreet Play Lafayette, as they seemingly accept repros, because I bought that Mega Man game there too.
Yep.
So I'm like, Unless they're not supposed to do that, and some dude, because that also pissed me off one day because they wouldn't take my Sega, that one plug and play Sega.
Right.
Like, yeah, we don't take plug and plays.
But then they were selling it.
Well, they're selling plug and plays.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're selling the Atari. They're selling the flashback stuff. I'm like, so which is it?
I guess it just depends on who you get, because I think like if you get some of the managers, they'll take him, but I don't think any of the other ones will.
Yeah, it really annoyed me because I know I don't want a lot out of it. I was just trying to. I think I was trying to get those guides or something at that time. And I had enough to do what I wanted to do, but I was like, I really don't need this.
Right.
But man, I don't know what else there is to talk about.
Not a whole lot. Monster Hunter came out today, the demo.
The Monster Hunter beta, open beta. I
Yep.
downloaded it. You downloaded it. Neither of us had had time to play it yet.
I tried to play it this morning. The dog woke me up at 9, and I knew in the back of my mind that a specific standard time, but I still wanted to make sure.
Oh, okay.
So I went ahead and looked at it, and it was like, it like loaded me up in the main screen. I was like, oh, it is ready to go. And this is, you can't play this game. It's not ready to be played.
There is something about Mega Man and Monster Hunter that I saw on IGN. Maybe I can find it really quick. Because I know I just saw it. On a side note, Wyatt watched me play Mario and was really into it.
Mario.
And he knows Mario, Peach, Yoshi, and Bowser. Yeah, he doesn't know.
That was a dinosaur.
He doesn't know who Luigi is yet, but he said Luigi. So Luigi.
At least he's not saying the Luigi board.
The Luigi board. I saw it, but it was a video, and I don't want to play the video. But it was something about Mega Man invading.
Search for.
I'm not searching for it because when I do that kind of stuff, it never on my app it never wants to come up.
Let me attempt this.
Because the only thing that I found was the video, and I don't want to play the video on a podcast.
Right.
Sometimes that's all I do is like a video of it, and they don't do an article.
Let's see what we get here.
So yeah, it's a trailer, Monster Hunter World Third Fleet trailer.
Huh.
I'm gonna click on it, and I'm gonna turn the volume down.
People who need help with matters that can't be
And that was a movie trailer. For they're making a new Insidious. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm not big on horror movies anymore. They're all just, yeah.
Same crap.
So, Capcom presents. Looks like it's a flying air balloon.
Oh, the ship. Yeah, the airship.
You got some dragons.
Because I think the main hub world is this ship here. Hints on your dragon team.
Means the Elder Crossing is upon us again. This dude got elf ears and dreads. Or
Dreads. He's braided.
Dude got white hair, man. Walking along. That dude kind of looked like Barrett from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, he did.
We got some gameplay going on here. I'm pushing a cannon with a big lava monster.
Damn. We can do this.
Yeah, dude. I just kind of saw it and was like, oh, cool, Mega Man something. And then I was like, maybe there's an article. And then, no, it's just a trailer. So I do wonder if it's a skin or if it's
That thing looks really nasty.
Oh, yeah. Look,
Whatever that is.
look like it's got wings.
It's got wings. It looks like...
It's got spiked wings. That's pretty cool. It's like a big
Yeah.
dragon. That's a big, ugly
That's a
dragon.
freaking nasty thing right there. Jeez.
Tearing some stuff up, man.
Oh.
All these guys got... Wait, hold on.
There's a cat with some goggles. I think this looks nasty, whatever that is.
That last spiked dragon.
Yeah.
Type thing, yeah. Oh, come on. How much longer we got, man?
A long time.
Yeah, a minute. Where the hell's Mega Man?
Right?
Got a bunch of lava.
And a lava
Whoa.
shark
It's like a big spiky armadillo.
with a big old Balchillion.
Yeah, right.
Balchillion.
Dude's an assassin.
Yeah.
Apparently. Got some crossover. Not really. Raiden?
Right? Yeah, it looked like Raiden.
Monster Hunter World.
Okay. It'd be funny if he looks over and it's just pixelated Mega Man.
And then screen goes black. Two walking. And then
So Mega Man just runs across the screen. Oh. I wonder if that's... Okay, so in these you have your little cats. So maybe he's your cat.
Oh. You got some jams? Got some music?
Charge played.
Hunt to the classic tunes of Mega Man.
Huh.
We got some Mega Man news, by the way.
Yes.
So they announced Mega Man 30th anniversary was last week or this past week. And so they announced Mega Man X1 through 8. You all right there, pal? Oh, kitty cat.
Zook's
You're
been,
just doing this, and I'm like,
Zook's been begging for attention.
okay, I'm sorry, Zuki. I've been busy, man. We're watching trailers stuff. But they announced Mega Man X1 through 8 coming to modern consoles, PS4, Xbox One, and the
Right.
Switch. And then they announced Mega Man 11 2.5D, completely new game, coming to the same consoles. So it's pretty exciting news. It's obvious that they were paying attention to the sales of Legacy Collection
Right.
and seeing how much demand there really is for a new Mega Man.
Right.
And so I'm really happy that they're doing it. Of course, a long time ago they were developing Mega Man Legends 3 and they just canceled it. So maybe they'll revive that one day.
Legends really didn't take off that well.
Well, it was a long-awaited sequel because the first two were on the original PlayStation, and the Mega Man Legends 3 was in development for the 3DS.
Right.
So that was a long time in between them. And then the guy, I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, but the creator of Mega Man, he was actually he was in charge of leading up the. He was involved in Mega Man Legends 3. He did like an appearance at like a PAX signing posters for it, and then they canceled it.
Imagine how much those posters are worth.
I know, right? And then, of course, he left the company and then made Mighty Number 9.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. So, pretty awesome that we get some more Mega Man kind of come along. And it makes me wonder, it's like, man, do I get him for the Switch or not?
I'm getting it for the Switch.
Well, the only thing that sucks about the Switch is the lack of actual D-pad. Because
It's buttons.
they're
this time
buttons.
around.
I did see that there is a custom shell for your Joy-Con. You can actually take the Joy-Con apart.
Yes.
And
There are a lot of custom Joy-Cons out right now.
Right. But then, like, they actually had a D-pad on this instead
Yes.
of that. It is a third party, though. So do that at your own risk, though, because it'll avoid your warranty. And, I mean.
Unless you're like me and you don't have a warranty.
Well, there you go.
So I don't really want to tear apart a Joy-Con. And I really don't want to spend $80 to tear up Joy-Cons. That's just saying. $80 for a new set of Joy-Cons. I really want a new set. I want an updated set because I don't know if they fixed that dead left.
Did you update your Joy-Cons? All right.
How do you update your
All right.
Joy-Con?
We got to do this, too. Live on the podcast. We're going to go in here.
Because I updated the system.
Go in here. We're going to go to the main menu. Go down here to the settings. We're going to go to controllers and sensors. Then you go over here to update controllers.
Huh. Well, that'll be done in the next, whenever we get off this podcast.
Right. So, yeah, there's that. Without further ado, though, I think it's time for our recommendations.
Phew. Recommendations. I don't have one.
I'm throwing you on the
Actually,
spot this time.
I do. Super Monkey Ball.
Did you guys like it?
We played it. Joanna played it with me. And mainly the reason why I bought the game was for the launch pad.
Mm-hmm.
So you just you go down the hill, you shoot, and then you open the ball up and you glide down to where you go, and then you got to close the ball and you land on the target. That's the one I bought it for. We played it for probably an hour together, and she actually has the highest score. I forgot how hard it was. It sucks.
It's awesome.
But it's fun. It's a very fun game if you're into the retro style, and it's a party game. It's not.
Yeah, of course.
It's not really a single player. It's fun to play with friends type deal.
I've been wanting to get time to be able to play snipper clips with Kate to see how she likes it.
Right.
Because I mean, a physical copy that's $30.
Right.
I'm like, maybe if me and her really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Mine is LA No More. I've played the game before. I haven't beat all the DLC. I beat most of it. I think I only had like 1 or 2 cases that I didn't beat. I'm excited to play through that again. And out of all the games I got, that's probably going to be the first one I play through because I'm already playing. I'm like, oh, man, this is awesome.
I've been leaning on Xeno, but if I can get Axiom Verge hard copy, that's what I'm going to do.
Awesome. Yeah, it's only $30. All right, guys. Well, thank you for checking out this episode. However you did it, if you didn't know, we're on video. We're on YouTube.
We are?
We are. We have the camera set up. We did a little bit of a different setup, hopefully suggested by, friend and co-founder of the Journey to Comics Network, Nate. He's like, maybe we should try a kind of a corner setup. And this table's a little longer than what we would like to do that with, but I think it works just fine. It doesn't really look like that on the camera. You can't tell the table's that big at all.
The only thing you can tell is that we're kind of turned.
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully it means that we're talking more into the mic and looking at each other. Whereas before we were like kind of do this kind of thing, and we're talking over here when we need to be talking here.
Yep.
So on the old table we did it like that, but when we got this table, we just went ahead and just did it straight on.
Right.
But then it's like just staring at the camera sometimes just gets a little weird.
We got to stare at different ways. Like, hey, how you doing?
If you want to check us out on YouTube, do that because we post the episodes up there. We're also on all great places that podcasts are available. We are on iTunes. We are on Podbean. We are on Stitcher Radio. We're on Google Play Music. And we are not yet here, but the Journey to Comics Network feed is. Because, of course, we separated. We're on our own feed. Journey to Comics Network feed is now on Spotify.
Yeah.
So if you go to Spotify, search Journey to Comics, we will come up. Well, they will. And I'm just thinking about putting up the Game Addicts one, but I just haven't submitted it yet. I need to get through and actually do that. So maybe here soon, we too will be available on Spotify. That way we can make parity between the two feeds. And we're on social media, Game Addicts Podcast on like Facebook, Game Addicts Play on Twitter and Instagram. I try to post pictures up when I can, make posts and do stuff.
It's all him on that.
You're damn right it is.
I need to just like sit down and just start laying stuff out and start taking pictures.
Yeah. And then if you just want to send them to me, I can post them.
Yeah.
If you don't want to post them yourself, I can post them.
Yeah.
Just send them to me.
You got all the tags already ready to go. So.
And yeah, we'll see. All you got to do is like take all the pictures and then just like send them to me in like the messenger chat. And boom.
That's probably what I'll do.
And then I'll put them up. So okay, get out of there.
Hey,
get out of
that's
the box.
Not for you.
No, those are my games.
Hey,
get out of there.
He wants up there so bad.
Oh, and here comes the doggy. He'll chase him away.
Yeah. Good dog meat.
You.
Hey.
What?
Patty.
That is so funny.
There's big ears, man.
I know, dude.
They're as big as his muzzle.
Anyway, guys, thank you guys for checking out this episode. Check us out on all the other stuff, like I said. And until next week, I've been Brando.
And I have been Mike.
And we will see you next time.